The Iranians are negotiating differently now because you empowered the Trump administration. Again, I'm not here to be political, but I'm here to tell you the truth. The Trump administration did more to empower the Iranian government than any leader on earth in the last 50 years. And when I say that, I mean because before the war, they were not blocking. They did not try to do a global blockade on on the entire world's oil supply. They didn't try to do that. The people would just go right through the Strait of Hormuz. It was fine. Now they're blocking it. They started charging tolls. And so they go and Trump announces, oh, everything's great. We're going to sit down at the negotiating table and make this work. I remember, and the stock market goes crazy. And I said, the stock market can't be this stupid. I said, come on, either I'm missing something. That's the thing. Sometimes I'll question myself. I'll be like, wait, is this really real, or am I, maybe I'm wrong? Where could I be wrong? Right. But my brain, my little PhD brain was like, I don't see how this is gonna work. This doesn't make sense. So basically, here's what happened, and it worked out. It turned out exactly like I thought it would. They go and they claim to sit down to have this negotiation. The Pakistanis were bringing them together, and the Iranians literally, they not only did they not complete the negotiation, but they couldn't even negotiate a way to sit down for the negotiation. Like they literally had a negotiation before the negotiation that says, before I even negotiate with you, here's what I need this and I need this. So the Iranians said, we need two things. One, we're not going to stop developing a nuclear war. Two, we're not going to open the Strait of Hormuz to you. We're going to maintain control of that. Well, those are the two sticking points those are the two things the US needed. They're like, no, we need you to stop developing nukes. We need you to open up the strait. So they, right before it even happened, they said they literally were like, well, just whatever. We can talk about whatever you want, but those two things are off the table. And so the U.S. didn't even sit down. The Iranians didn't sit down. So now the Trump administration is trying to respond with strength by blockading the Strait of Hormuz, which is only going to make it worse. It's only going to make things messier, and it's really gonna cause some crazy things to happen long term. It's going to disrupt the oil supply. Which is going to disrupt the global economy, but it's also going to the price of oil, your price of oil and gas and all that's going to go up permanently. There's going to be they call it a risk premium. There's going to be a permanent risk premium on the price of oil and gas going forward forever, just because they know that there is a possibility that this could happen again. Even if it's over, the world's going to be so traumatized that they're going to put the price is going to be jacked up a little because now you've made something riskier than it was before. You took a safe neighborhood and you turned it into boys in the hood, right? Ever since Ricky got shot in the back, don't nobody want to walk down that dark alley no more. And so basically, this is what's happening right now. So here's what I want to share with you, just in case you are thinking about how to look at it from an investment standpoint. I'm not sure, but my gut instinct tells me that there's a very high probability that you could see a market decline, major market decline tomorrow as the market absorbs this information. That upsets me because you never should have had that increase in the first place. And if you were I was talking about it a little bit on Instagram, and I said I really believe this is temporary. So if you are trying to get some put options or whatever to protect your investments, get them now because I don't think this is going to last. That was my 2 cents. Now those options will come into play. And as you see, prices kind of adjust again back to normal where they say, oh, okay, we thought you were serious, and we know that you're not. The second thing too is there are companies out there that many experts believe have a remarkable ability to make money long term, even with, especially in a high price environment when it comes to oil. One of the big ones would be ExxonMobil, ticker symbol XOM, Chevron, I think the CVX, I think that's their ticker.